I don't have any sound. Disconnect audio. I don't want to do that, do I?
Sometimes you have to go out and come back
I
in.
did that twice already.
Oh.
mid 80s in Jackson and 90 out towards San Andres. We've got 80s and 70s up into the high country. So we're going to see a few more days with 90s across the board here before temperatures slowly start to head back into the right direction. Now we will see a nice delta breeze tonight and actually an even stronger delta breeze tomorrow, right? From 13 miles per hour, 50 now in San Francisco. So the overnight hours, it does bring some relief to some locations. Unfortunately, again,
Maybe they don't have it out there and they have it turned on there.
trickling in by the evening, especially tomorrow afternoon. So for today,
No, you can hear it once in a while.
across the board. Upper 60s for the Bay Area. We'll see low 90s in the Delta with mid.
There's no way for me to tell that because I don't know anybody's phone number to call.
Also see mid to low 90s, and we'll see mid 80s.
Can't hear anything on the audio.
Tonight, yeah, the Stockton Port's taking on Lake Elsinore. 7:05 is the first pitch. It's going to be a bit warm though, 91 degrees. The winds from the west at 9 miles per hour. So because of that warmer temperature, you might want to take advantage of that $1 beer night tonight. Speaking of a cold beverage, you've got your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. John. Okay, Jordan, thank you. Folsom City.
Clark, you can't hear anything on the video or the audio.
City, but it is reaching historically low levels right now. So the city is asking people to cut their and try to preserve the lake. During the fall and winter months. It's really where the new center is expansion of the
I can hear Stan's audio.
Oh,
Hey, Stan.
Hi, Claire.
Hi there.
Good.
Is that your dog?
Now? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Clark. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me talking? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes. I can hear you
Okay,
talking.
good. Hey, Claire, you're supposed to do the 4-way test, Brian told me, and you'll be able to do it by just talking through your iPad there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
We'll be starting in just a second.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started? I see we've got Claire online on Zoom, Howie, and Stan. Welcome, everyone.
Thanks.
Wow, this is like 3 weeks in a row. Fantastic. I love it. All right, why don't we go ahead and get started? For the pledge today, can you guys hear me through this? Is it, oh, okay. It doesn't, sounds different to me. Sounds different to me. All right, so the pledge, Pete, you're signed up for the pledge today. You good with it?
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Individual.
liberty and justice for all.
Justice for all.
Thank you very much, Pete. I appreciate that. Claire, you're signed up for
Yes.
the 4-way test. Are you able
Okay.
to do that for us?
Sure. Of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build good and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, let's make it fun.
Yeah, have fun. All right. Thank you very much, Claire.
Mhm.
Christine signed up for the portable mic handler. Do you mind? I appreciate that. Okay, because that'll make it a lot easier. So thank you, Joanne. Yeah, because I think Christine's in Idaho, if I remember correctly. All right. Alan, do you have a poem for us today?
We go in the other room so you can watch the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, throughout life, I wondered if I went in one direction rather than another, whether or not my life would change for the better. I was driven by these thoughts and began to believe in the magic of if. From the time I was a small child, the word if played a significant role in my life and how I spent each day. If I could, if I would, and if I should flooded my mind as I made my daily decisions about how to act and play. My dreams and plans flowed after the magic word in such statements as, if I could be a professional ball player, my world would be great. Or if the pretty girl in my 7th grade class would acknowledge my existence, I would have the guts to ask her out on a date. As a senior in high school, I seemed to bump into if at every turn, from if I should go away to college to if my choice of psychology as a major was right. If I could see the future challenge my heart and mind, and I wished I could look into a crystal ball to see the success I might become, a true delight. When I reached adulthood, I experienced the ups and downs that come with finding a job, being successful, and taking a wife. At times, navigating the road proved to be difficult, and I contemplated if I could travel back in time, might I be able to undo my mistakes and improve my life. In today's technological world with Siri, Alexa, Echo, and other smart speakers to assist us, I wonder if humans might someday become obsolete. I hope not, but if I had a robot who knew everything, I would ask it how I could help people to be more accepting of one another, which would be a welcome treat. I have often asked myself, if I had all the money in the world, would my life be any different than it is now? My answer, an emphatic yes, for I would share my wealth and good fortune with those in need. This I vow. I believed if everything was possible, I would jump each of life's hurdles with confidence and dignity. And because I do, I have worked hard to achieve the goals I set to become the man I wanted to be. In my golden years, my desire is to be a writer and poet who blends words to create great stories and poems. And do this, I strive. And through my inspiration, imagination, and passion, my poetry and prose make the magic of if come alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. Very nice. All right. Visiting Rotarians. And Barbara, we'll actually present you a little bit later since you're speaking today. Oh, this is Barbara as well. Yeah. Yeah. You don't remember that you were the presenter?
This is my very first Rotary meeting. I'm very excited to be here, but I'm technically not a guest. I'm technically a member now with the City of Lincoln corporate membership. And so I'm very excited. I've been wanting to join for a long time, but I teach school during the school year, so I can't always come to the meetings, but I will in the summer. But I'm very excited to be here and get involved with Rotary.
Well, thank you, Holly, and welcome. Yeah. And so to remind everyone, we use the microphone so that the people on Zoom in Zoom land can also hear what's going on. Oh, okay. Any other visiting Rotarians? Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mary Jo Edmondson, your assistant governor, and I'm happy to be here for my last official duty with the Lincoln Rotary. Woo!
Thank you.
And we're happy to have you.
Yes, thank you for being here. Absolutely. Guests today.
I would like to introduce Dre, because I don't know her last name. Isn't that weird? Bravo, 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 bravo.
Yeah.
She is from the Foundry, and I think eventually she's going to become a member also. And then you already met Holly. Actually, Holly was known as Holly Woods before she became Andriata. Thank you. I've been saying names. I said Chapala instead. I goofed that all up and Paul got mad at me. Anyway, welcome.
All right. Thank you, Chris, and welcome. Good to see you again. Welcome, Holly. And thanks for being here, Mary Jo. All right. And I see some faces that we don't see as often. I see Kimberly here now. Is this 3 times in a row? Sorry to call you out. I know it makes all of us excited to see you on a more regular basis. All right. Well, she didn't know there was a nice spoken like a true Air Force. Yep. No, I mean, Linda was Air Force. Yeah. I know you were Navy. Yes. And I see Ma Barker here with us today. So welcome back. How was your vacation? Until this time. All right. Well, welcome home. All right. Any birthdays today or since last time we met? Any birthdays? No? Anniversaries. Last week was Daryl's anniversary. When's yours? Oh, okay. Yeah.
On May 25th, we were married for, I think, 99 years. I'm not really sure, give or take. Actually, we were married we are still married, but that was our 53rd anniversary. So we want to give $53 to the Lincoln Club Foundation.
Well, I'd like to say it's been a delightful 53 years.
Yes.
A lot of adventures and a lot of memories, and we're going to keep creating more. Actually, since this should have been paid last month, I rounded off to $53.98.
Sounds to me like he wasn't sure how many years it was. All right. Well, congratulations to both of you. That's fantastic. Any other anniversaries? Nope. I see some other faces here that I looked right past. So Truman and Dick, both of you. So it's great to see both of you. Good. You look great. All right. Oh, you have. Oh, okay. Let's.
So I'm not sure how this game is played. If I have an anniversary, do I have to give money? Is that how it works? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So in just a couple days, June 15th, my husband Mark and I will be married 30 years.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations. All right. Any other anniversaries? No? Okay. Truman, would you be so kind as to do Happy Bucks for us today? But I could tell by the way you were sitting there, you look very happy. So I thought you were the perfect person for this.
I can't even hear what he says half the time. That's okay. No, really, all of us are really happy to be back. So I know I am expecting everyone to dig in for a happy buck. And I'd like to start off I beg your pardon? Oh, no, you mean I have to hold the microphone closer? Oh, my God. Okay, so I know, Bill, it's good to see you back. You've been to more than one meeting, I think, right? Was it two? Okay.
And I'm contributing a little bit here because it's so good to see you.
Well, you know what? Not everybody had the same opportunities we did. Unfortunately, there are people that were not feeling too well. And some of them, I know a few people that didn't quite make it. So I am happy. How about you, Daryl? How happy are you? Okay, all right. So we can only get you once, huh? Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, well, and rightfully so, I think, right? Okay. Mary Ann Barker has some really good news, right?
The good news is I sold my house in one day. Over asking. Bad news is I have no place to live. And I gotta be out in 2 weeks.
Anybody have a rental? Okay, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna come see you, okay? Okay, what do you got here?
Okay, I am blessed to be a neighbor across the street from Daryl and Linda Scott, and we have a little contribution in honor of their anniversary.
Okay, all right. Dick, how happy are you? I too have a joke. Maybe I can do it. Okay, it'll be not as funny in this group, but you heard about the guy who got his COVID shot. He was about 80 years old, maybe 90, and he got his second COVID shot. So he goes into, he has to wait 15 minutes, and no reaction was occurring. So he thought that was great. So he then left and was real happy. He left and real happy. We need to get more power here. Real happy. And so he started driving on the street, and all of a sudden he started getting a little dizzy. And then all of a sudden he was getting more dizzy, and he was really panicking. And he had the phone right there, and he knew the number that, he just pushed a button, and he says, "Hey, I'm getting sick. I think I'm getting reaction to it." He says, "I'm going to go to the emergency room. Which one did I go to?" And the little lady, the nurse on the other end, said, No. Just come back. We can take care of you." I said, No. I need the emergency room. I'm getting dizzy. I'm gonna have a heart attack. He said, Come back. So he goes back, and he goes back in, and he says, "Okay, how can you help me?" He says, "Well, here's your glasses."
About,
To the mic.
I'm trying.
Put it way up there now.
Somewhere about 10 or 12 weeks ago, my mom had a heart valve replacement. And at 92, they don't open the chest. They send it up through the groin. It was like putting a new motor in her. Made all the difference in the world until about 3 weeks ago. With the TAVR procedure, they put the valve inside the old valve, leaving the flaps, just like that. It goes up through the groin, up through the aortic vein, and then they just insert it in there. Like I say, it was a miracle. It was like she had a new motor. Well, about 3 weeks ago, she had a stroke. And this is somewhat common with the TAVR procedures, just as for education for all of you. When they leave the valve, if there's any plaque or calcification on the flaps of the valve, it runs a risk of breaking loose. So a small piece ended up in their kidney, and another piece ended up lodged next to her spinal cord in the brain. Well, she caught it fairly early, but keep in mind, this is a mineral, not a blood clot. And so it can't be dissolved. So last Thursday, we took her out of the Sutter Rehab Institute. And if you ever need rehabilitation, that's a party place. It's a lot of fun. She's doing very well. She's walking on her own and the whole works. And I'd say she's probably 90–95% there. Most of the problem is with confidence and strength. She's doing the one-legged balance on both legs. She's reaching to the top shelf as far as she can reach, and she's doing real good right now. She's got another week of 24/7 home care to go through, but this is she's been really blessed, and we're looking for a lot more time with her. So that's it.
That's really happy. Thank you very much, Dick. I'll tell you what, anybody who survives any of the maladies that we start getting are certainly should thank the newfound ways of curing you that our scientists and our doctors have done, because they're doing a great job. So do you have anything cured?
I'm really happy to be here. You know, I always think when I see Kimberly of the business where they're dying to get in. And I'm just happy to be on this side. Okay. Thank you, Kim.
He just did. There we go. Good.
Kimberly, and you are.
Okay, this is a shout out to Brian and all of the other veterans who participated in the Placer County Veterans Memorial. It was on Monday. There was 700 people there. A fabulous, fabulous experience. So thank you guys. Thank you for the.
Holly, did I hear correctly from Chris that you were originally Hollywood? Okay. I want to congratulate you on your choice, however, of, I guess, your married name. Good. I started my career out as a psychology instructor, my career in education. And in one of my classes, I had a wonderful young lady, and her name was, first name was Candy, her last name was Kane. Candy Kane. Grew up with that name. She fell in love with one of my other students. His name was David Barr. So from Candy Cane, she became Candy Barr. Congratulations, Holly.
That's great. And you made us happy, right? You made us laugh. Okay, here's another laugh.
I am very, 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 very happy because Saturday was my daughter's wedding. It was at our house, and it went very well. We had it in that ceremony in one part of our property. It was about a quarter mile from our house. So, and it was on our dirt road. And so all the people went out there with the golf cart, and they're waiting behind this or under this oak tree that was in the shade. It was really beautiful. And then my daughter and I and her maid of honor came and surprised everyone. No one knew. We took her out there in a horse-drawn carriage. And it was really cool. No one knew it was a horse-drawn carriage until, you know, it came up over the hill, and then everyone saw it was a horse-drawn carriage, and it was really cool. And then, so after the ceremony, that my daughter and her new husband got in the carriage and went back to the house. And out on the front yard and the balcony, we had a reception, which is great. They had great food. My daughter and her husband, they love to hunt, right? So I told them, make the wedding whatever you want. You know, it's your wedding. So on the side yard, they had shooting, and I'm shooting clay targets. So we're out there with, you know, there's like, I don't know, 120. No, that I told them no alcohol until the shooting's done. So they're out there with tuxes, you know, and they're shooting my daughter's, you know, bridal dress and everything. They're shooting clay targets and bows and arrows and stuff. It's so funny because guys would get out of their car and they had their family in tow and their kids, and they had their assault rifle on their shoulder, you know. They'd be walking in. I'm going, wow, I've never seen a wedding like this. And then, yeah. Yeah, those guys love to shoot. So then we had in the backyard, it was beautiful. See, my other daughter is a wedding coordinator. She does like 65 weddings a year. So it was gorgeous. She put this together in 3 months. She had these beautiful tables on her lawn, shade, these beautiful lights in the trees all around. And well, it was a nice day, and it was in the shade, and moss all over. She had these things, 300 floating candles, I guess, because she's, you know, a wedding coordinator. She pulls all this stuff in. And they had a buffet barbecue, which is really cool. And then the bar opened up, and then they had dancing and stuff, and it was really cool. And as what was so cool, and not to belabor this, but like I said, my daughter is a wedding coordinator, and all the vendors were there, and they're trying to make it real special for her. And they all said, "Oh, this is the most beautiful wedding we've ever seen." And it was really pretty. So I am exceptionally happy.
All right, congratulations. That sounds fantastic. But as Dave, what? Well, what I'm suggesting is, how many people attended this wonderfully beautiful wedding? Anybody? Doesn't it sound like Dave would do that? Huh? Okay. I didn't want you guys to think it was all me. Okay. All right. You've got something to have. Everybody's got a story. That's what I like. Tell me if I'm running out.
This is not a story. I just got a request. I've talked to our city clerk. We still need volunteers for the city redistricting committee. That's different from the state, where they redistrict, the congressional and the assembly and senate districts. But we need one for our council districts. So we still need people to do this. And also, by the way, the names, putting names together, it works in other languages too. I had a colleague in the Foreign Service. Her last name was Neve, which means in Spanish. First name was Blanca.
All right, stand up. Come on, stand up. Nobody's seen you around, so you're still here. Okay, all right, here it is. Here it is. What's your story?
I've been here, I swear. Man, so is it the truth? I was late, so that goes in there. So I was late, it's going in there. And I also wanted to second Richard. It was really nice. You guys did amazing on that wall. It was a beautiful ceremony this weekend.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. I'm gonna hurry up here. Clark, you're next. Yeah, you. I'm exhausted right now. You're exhausted right now. Well, we won't make you tell a story, but you'll have to give money. Okay. How about you, Paul? What do you got up? What happened? What's really wonderful in your life?
I'm sorry. Okay. Just thank you, Bucks, to Daryl for stepping in yesterday. I had problems with my wife's car, and Bill came over to do the blood drive signs. And I just couldn't leave the garage talking with the dealership all day. But Daryl stepped up and got all the signs in. So thank you, Daryl.
Me talking? Well, I don't even change. So you can have the whole thing. No, you can. It's all right. It's all right. No, you shouldn't ask me that. Would Benio? Anyway, I'm happy. We first of all, Potters 5-0, 6-0. Excuse me. I've been out of town. 6-0. Really, they got such a great team. I mean, you go down there. I cannot believe the way they throw the ball. The arms are amazing. Really fun. On the other hand, I was in Reno until about 20 minutes ago, it seems like. And our senior softball guys did not do very well, but we had fun. And Mike had a good tournament. The rest of them, not so much. Well, maybe.
Almost. Okay, all right. So you're happy.
I'm just really delighted that Barb is here. I'm just really happy that Barb is here to visit us from Ajijic.
All right. Well, do they do this with other folks?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they do. No, not really. But I'm paying here because I love this club. And if I had a choice and left my own club, which is Placer Valley Sunrise, this would be one of the choices, except you meet at noon. And I'm not a noon person. I'm a morning person. So thank you for having me the many times that I've been here. And I might come visit again, even though I'm not going to be assistant governor anymore, but you'll have Rob Sachs. So
You know what?
What?
You've done a great job. You've made it through the system. Man, I tell you, that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Hi, you want to give something? Okay, welcome to. Thank you. Mike, go ahead.
Well,
We may
I
do
s-
it this way every time.
I see that you guys all celebrate anniversaries. So this month, my husband and I are having our 25th anniversary, and we're going away. And I just was reflecting with 16 people, all Rotarians, to a hacienda for a couple of days. So we'll be out in the middle of the nowhere. It'll be great just to have time with people and feel safe and out in the traditional areas of Mexico.
Good. And I won't mention any alcoholic beverages because that's all they have down there besides water. Okay. All right. Barbara, nice to see you.
Hi, I'm sorry I was a little detained. I don't say late. And I'm liking Barbara a lot.
I'm sorry. Did I do that wrong? Okay. All right. Okay. Any more Potters news?
Well, yeah, my Potters, one of them is showing up on Monday and one will be showing up about the 16th. But yeah, we're 6-0. Last night's game, we were back and forth, mostly back, right? You don't know. And then we came from behind and we are just terrific. And that's where that goes. And then today I am officially the grandma of a graduating senior from the baseball team today. So doggone it. They asked me if I wanted to go and be present with him going through the little ceremony. And I said, no, it's his mom and dad's honor to be able to do that. So I'll be videotaping it, but I'm very proud of him and he's off to college. So that's the fun part.
Okay, just pass it down to Holly.
All right. So, and I don't need change. So I have a 20, I don't have 30. So I owe you $10 for my anniversary. But yeah, so the monument, the Veterans Monument is beautiful. It was a great ceremony. My father, who was a Vietnam veteran, passed away a couple years ago. He's on there. And my son, who served 4.5 years in the Navy, he's on there. And so that was really great to find their names. Yes. And my Potter that we're hosting is from Kentucky, and he's really good, and he's a sweet boy. Love him. His name is Trace Wilhoit, number 33. Yes, 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 he did.
Wow. That's great. That's great. So, and we're going to pass on you. We're not going to charge you anything. Okay.
It's really nice to be last in line. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, my friend. Thank you. Okay, that's it. Yes, sir. Oh, good. Don't take change out. No change out.
I'm paying on behalf of Clark. I want to congratulate Clark for what he has done for our organization this whole year, because he has made Brian's term as president. Without Clark, we couldn't have done what we're doing. And now he's continuing to make it for the people who cannot come personally. And so I just want to congratulate Clark on what he's doing. And I want to end by saying I am very envious at his ability to do it, because I don't know a damn thing about it. Thank you.
Hi, that's very nice. Very nice. Okay. Now,
Very nice.
Last but
So,
not.
yeah, I got to
You
put
don't
in an
know-
IOU.
No,
Just
you
left
don't
my
need
wallet
to.
in the car.
Well, why don't you hold this? How much you want to put in?
A $5 piece of paper.
A $5 piece
Yeah,
of paper.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Dave
So,
will get the
and
money
I
from-
signed it with my name too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm extremely happy. And we did the Veterans Memorial, which I'm thrilled to be part of. But there are people who were involved in this going back to its inception, which I think was back in 2018. And Frank was one of those people. So thank you, Frank. And thank you to all who were able to attend and made it a special day for all of us that were on that board. So thank you. All right, next up, Joanne. I'm so used to saying Joe. Yes. Mary Jo. Sorry for that faux pas.
Usually I say they call me anything with two names, and I have two last names too. So what can I say? All right. So as my official duty and my last official duty, because you're the last one to take these two, it's my pleasure to present to the Rotary Club of Lincoln their outstanding awards. This was last year, the year we're still in, the Rotary year we're still in, was a horrendous year for everybody. But I am so pleased with the Club of Lincoln that rose to the challenge. And these are the awards that you got. If you notice, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 golds and 3 silvers. Brian, you did a fabulous job, and you can look like Mark Spitz. Oh, Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps. I don't know. I was going to say Michael Phelps is your era. Mark Spitz is my era. So what can I say? And so then you also received the governor's citation. So here's your governor's citation, and don't ask me what that means. So, you know, it's just the governor decides who's done a good job, and you have to qualify. I know, but everybody always says, "What's the citation?" And no, not every club. Joanne. Okay, so golds in youth, vocational, international, community, and marketing. Those are the major ones. Foundation, silver, and membership. Those are the ones everybody looks at. I don't get it, but you know, it doesn't matter that you did a great job. You had a great year, and you should be commended. All of you should be commended. It's not just Brian filling out the form and me going, oh, that looks okay. It is really the whole club. So congratulations to the Rotary Club of Lincoln.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This really is all of you and those who aren't able to be here today with us. So thank you for making my year special with all of this. So thank you very much. I'm afraid I'll fall forward. Thank you very much again, Mary Jo, for being here and presenting that to us. And to be honest, I didn't even fill out the form. Errol did it for me. So really none of this is me. Yeah. He helped me. No, he helped me a lot. Yeah, that's right. He said, here, just put your name on it and forward it. But as you know, anything successful really comes from a team of people. So I'm just fortunate enough to have my name on the president banner here this year. And so that goes back to what Alan said, and you're absolutely right, Alan. If it wasn't for Clark, we really wouldn't have had much of a year. So you're absolutely right. Thank you for doing that. Thank you very much, Clark. Not only for all the Zoom work done, but for the number of things that you helped us with this year. So I appreciate that. And the final thing I'll say, I've never received a citation that I didn't go and pay money for. So thank you again. All right. Why don't we move into some committee reports? So Richard, any updates? Nope. Okay. All right. Kimberly. Community.
So the senior center is coming along. I think the tables will be out there this week, right? We're looking for help tomorrow, and we're still looking for help to put the shed up. And then my gardener will be back out this weekend. I'm gonna make him go respray again because it's not dead yet. But it will be, we'll get all the weeds out of there, and then I will be sending out an email to everyone to see if you want to come bring your rake and rake it with me to get all the weeds out. But then it'll be something we can all put our names behind. Yes, yep, and we'll need help with planting the trees. We don't have a date on that yet, though.
Thank you very much. Chris, youth?
Yes, I just want to let you know that graduations are going as planned. They are in person, but limited to 2 people each, unfortunately, but that's the way it goes because we have to follow rules or they can shut us down, and we don't want that to happen. The other thing, I had the privilege this morning of meeting with Dre and Brian. The foundry is going to be losing their lease come December. And so we're kind of brainstorming some ideas of how Rotary can be actively involved, sponsorship, be there, maybe hold a class, whatever. But we are going to be trying to come up with some swift ideas of how we can keep the foundry alive, get kids more involved, how Rotary can help the foundry, how the foundry can help Rotary, because as you well know, youth is very important to us, because when I am in a bed that I can't get out of and I need that help, I want good people to be running our country, and that's our youth. So we want to make sure that we are taking care of them, and who is not finer than a Rotary Club to be right there pushing our youth and being mentors and helping them with job shadowing. And I had the pleasure last Friday, this is just a little side thing, but I have a former student that approached me, and I told you about him supplying all the money for the graduates to have their t-shirts this year, which is pretty super special. And he called me again and said, you know, we really want to do something for the youth, and we want to bring in some kids that could learn from us to have an internship, a paid internship in the construction trade. So they are willing to take these students on, but here's what is special. Internships and mentorship and job shadowing are all important, but they want to train these kids to eventually go out and have their own company. And that's what it's all about. So if we can inspire our youth, especially kids that
Usually they have 72 little tops. It's the best season in 7 years.
I think it's
Do not try to eat potatoes if you have
anyway, it's our responsibility to
online, describing us.
we're going to start working hard on how we can help the foundry, and we might need your help. Not a lot, but we might need your help. So we want you there. Ian?
She says 6 states have become ill. 8 of them were hospitalized. This is across several branded labeled raw, but looks cooked. They may be breaded. The chicken reaches 165 degrees at this point.
Brian?
Clark, do you have anything on foundation?
All right. All right. Board met last month and the month before. We've been talking about the fact that our club has never been an all Paul Harris club. Club is when every single member of the club is a Paul Harris fellow. We have about 14, 15 of our members who are not Paul Harris fellows. You can take these out because I'm not using them. And interestingly enough, the club has, with the members and the club itself, we have 65,000 transfer recognition points. So 65,000 transfer recognition points with the club and the members. We need about 14 to 15,000 points to award Paul Harris Fellows to the folks in our club who are not Paul Harris Fellows. So the board has said that's okay. Let's do that. And I've gone out to several members who have literally thousands of these points. And what's interesting about the points is when you pass away, the points pass away with you. You can never use them again. So it behooves some of our members who have so many to put them to good use. Now, what we're going to ask the members who haven't, most of us like myself, you know, we paid to get a Paul Harris Fellow. So you think, well, we're just giving it to them. That's not fair. Well, we're going to start something and we're going to put it in their bill on a quarterly basis. We're going to ask the new members who we're donating these to at least put in $50 a year to towards a Paul Harris Fellow, but it is optional. And if they have issues and they can't, that's fine. But to also help them, if they'll give $100 or more per year, up to 500, the club will match their donation, so they can get a second Paul Harris with as little as $500. Now, if they just pay 50, you're not going to match that. You got to do at least 100 to get a match, and we'll do that for other folks in the club as well. So anyway, I just wanted to check with the club members and see if you know, you're okay with that. And I guess I'd actually like to have a motion that the club feels that this is okay to do. And if you want to have any discussion, we could do that too. But it's been approved by the board. They're recommending it. You can only do this one time in your history as a club. And you have a unique opportunity with so many things to be able to. I can repeat what he says for the.
You know, okay, I forgot about the plants on the front of the patio. I got a lot of time.
I feel strongly that this year has changed an awful lot in our club and denied a lot of people the opportunity to do the things that they would do to really feel like they're earning their way into our club and serving our club and serving our neighborhood and serving our country in the long run. And I think we should go ahead and do that. It's just because everything is new.
We're still feeling the effect of that Delta breeze. 81 in Stockton and
We've lost the sound.
I move that we adopt Clark's resolution. I think we have to have that before we have a discussion.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say
Go ahead,
something.
Joanne.
We've talked a lot over the years about doing things like this. And the only consideration I'd like to mention is that we have talked about giving awards to like a teacher of the year, our retiring fire for public safety, other people in the city that we would like to recognize. And that provides us with, you know, a real good opportunity for PR as well. And if we use all these points for that, that kind of takes away from that particular opportunity. So
We have more than enough to do both.
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
We
great.
have 65,000 points and we only need 15, so we'll still have 50 left over.
Assume- yeah,
50,000.
okay.
And then we only need 1,000
and
per
that's-
Paul Fellowship.
And that's assuming that everybody agrees and with
Yeah.
their personal.
Yeah.
Friday, tomorrow, and then Saturday. And
Or maybe it's one mic or the other is not working for some reason, but.
Can you hear me?
Hear you? Yes.
for today,
You're Brian.
90s, and that should be more like
Okay,
90s.
maybe just this mic is working. So, any other further discussion?
Auburn, and again in the 80s in around Lake
Or did you want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the mics are out.
Okay. What we think one is, I'm not sure what's going
Yeah,
on.
yours is fine now, but we couldn't hear the other stuff.
Okay, we'll use this mic the rest of the meeting. So, okay, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? I'm tired. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Clark. Appreciate that. Claire, do you have any
Yes.
updates for us on social?
Yeah, the first thing is tomorrow I'm meeting with the fella at the Turkey Creek to get a menu for the kickout and a price. So I'll send a message out Saturday or tomorrow afternoon or Saturday, so that you know how much it's gonna cost. That's on the 23rd, which is a Wednesday, not a Thursday this year. Couldn't get Thursdays. They were booked. Then the July social is gonna be a Potter's game in the VIP tent with hot dogs and hamburgers and chips and whatever else. And the ticket, of course, to the games. And then I'll send something out about that too a little bit later. The cost for that is $20 a ticket. If you're a ticket holder this year already, then your cost is only $14. So that's the difference. But we'll have a message going out about that. We've got plenty of time for that. That's not till near the end of July. Well, it is the end of July. So that's it right now.
Great. Thank you very much, Claire. So yes, kickouts on the 23rd of this month, and the 29th of July is the Potters.
29th, yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember now because I am making out that sheet to pass around for people to sign up, but I think I'm going to bring it down to one greeter per week for summer. That's okay. So I'll switch some of you around. Secondly, are we meeting the last Thursday in June? That is the 5th Thursday. Good. Okay.
Okay, John, Foundation.
Okay, this is really about the properties update. We're still waiting on the Big Bend Ranch deed, waiting a long time for that. We're considering the sale of a vacant lot, and we're considering some way to recognize Robert S. Dart. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Anyone else have anything else they want to add? Nope. Okay. So I got a couple of quick updates. So to kind of look at June, next week, I'll be here. We'll all be here for the noon meeting. The following week on the 17th, I'm out of town that week, and Christine is going to be in town, and she'll take that meeting. Then we won't have a meeting on the 24th. Okay, since we're doing the 23rd kickout, we'll skip the 24th and then come back for July.
So Ryan, was the answer to the question, we couldn't hear the answer. Are we meeting on the last Friday, last Thursday in June?
No, we are not.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, there is no 5th Thursday in June. Yeah, it is July, right? Yes.
I guess I'm in charge of entertainment or the skit, not anything else. But I need people to help. I have a massive, big weekends in June, celebrations of life, graduation, and all that. So I really need help to put that skit on, and it's got to be a good one because of the year that we've had.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. A couple of other things that I've got. Our foundation contribution or donation goal this year, and this is International Foundation. Our goal is $9,000, and we're $1,400 below that. So we've got a few more weeks here to try and hit that goal. So if you have it in your heart, and I know, yes, I know we've got a few in the box today. So think about that because we're a little bit shy there. And actually, I think that's it for me. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is turn this over to Joanne, who will introduce our speaker for today. I should have called you Mary Jo, yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to print this out. So, oh boy. Yeah, thanks. I was hoping it, but it doesn't always do that. Barb Wilson. She is a wonderful incoming president for the club of Sunrise Chapala. Chapala Sunrise, I should say. She spent her entire career in education. First half was spent teaching special ed in both Philadelphia and Thailand, different places, and most of it in Vallejo. Then she went back to UC and got a PhD in educational policy and administration. And it's too bad Karen Johnson's not here because I think she has the same degree. And then she began her administrative career in the Bay Area. In the last 11 years, she was the superintendent of schools for in the Pittsburgh area of California. In 2010, she and her husband, Bill, moved to Ajijic. And as I think most of you know, but not all, good friends of ours, Rod and Terry, and a former former member of this club, they moved to Ajijic. And Mike and I went down there and nudged Rod to get involved with Rotary. He did. And since then, our club has had a very close partnership with the folks down there. And it's a unique situation because as some of you, how many went to Ajijic last year? Yeah, great. So it's a unique situation because there are a lot of expats there, Canadians and Americans, and we get the opportunity to have fun with them, but really do some very meaningful projects because they're on the ground, they're doing the stuff. And Barb's here today to give us an update on some of those projects that we've been very closely involved with. And I'm very pleased to have her. So come on up, Barb.
Good to see so many of you that I've already seen down in our area, and good to see some people that I hadn't yet met. You've heard both Chapala and Ajijic mentioned, and that's because there's a club in each of those. The original club was the Ajijic Rotary Club. The towns are right next door to each other, and then about 7 years ago, the club split, slightly different philosophies and times of day they were meeting, etc. So, but we're still friendly. I attend both. I used to be in the Ajijic club, but then when the Chapala club was established, I moved over there. I was walking distance to the club, so it made a lot of sense to me. We are in the Chapala Sunrise. We are a sunrise club, but sunrise there starts at 10 in the morning, so it's not so bad. And we are really a very active and action-oriented group. We have grown quite a bit, and it's even during the pandemic, we're now up to just about 40 people. And we were down at 30. So we've had a lot of people come in. And part of that, I think, is because people wanted to have some sense of purpose during this very difficult year. We met most of the year. We started meeting as early as June in a hybrid format. We started with Zoom like you, but very early on, we went to hybrid and changed our location so that we were in a much open air area right on this lake that our club is surrounds our community. And so people had the choice, and we spread out, and vaccines weren't available then. So we just spread out in mass for those that were comfortable, and those that weren't stayed home. And it worked out really well.
very early on in the pandemic, it was clear that although there's always been hunger in our area, it was over the top. The people that had always been on the margin, doing car washes or waiters or selling corn on the street, no income at all. And there isn't any sort of safety net in Mexico for those folks. So we started seeing people go from door to door with just a plate saying, can I have some food? And so we started an emergency food relief project. We knew it was not sustainable, but we wanted to get through the pandemic, and we managed through the gifts of folks like you and other Rotary clubs from Canada and all over the US. We raised $37,000 in the matter of about 3 weeks, which is way more than we ever thought we could do. One of the benefits of that is we realized that we couldn't handle, as a club of that size, getting food out to all those folks by ourselves. And so we looked for partners in the community that already were up and running, giving out food. They had an established process, they had their volunteers in place, et cetera. And we ended up making some terrific natural connections with these other groups, because we said, we've got the money. And they're like, all right. And they had the resources. And so we worked as teams. One of them that you are very aware of is the Chapala project. And you as a club have been incredibly helpful to Chapala. Chapala's evolved a bit. It's just started as a little community center where they were feeding people. When I first got down there 10 years ago, they were just feeding people, moms and kids, on Fridays. I mean, now it's got all sorts of services, education, a sewing project. They make their own water and sell it to the community at a quarter of what it costs in the stores. You know, a dental clinic, a health clinic. I mean, it goes. Yeah, maternal health. So it just goes on and on and on. And they decided, as we approached them because we knew they were good and used to giving out food. And we approached them, and Mooney King, some of you have probably heard her name. She's been the leader for the beginning of this project, and said, do you need some money? Is there something we can do to help supplement what you're already doing? She wanted to try this maternal health program to give supplements to women that were either pregnant or had just had children, so that those children would be born healthy. So each project that we subsidized helped a little differently. But I thought I'd go on and start into the here and then tell you a little more. And I don't know how you want to do this, Clark. Just, all right, advance. Okay, another project, I put this first because you have also been extremely involved in the SAFE program, which stands for Save a Future with Education. I'm the liaison. My closest friend, Ginger Gonzalez, is the leader of this. And we together have done a lot.
Does this?
Okay, for sure, Rotary is the biggest supporter of this program. We have 121 students as of this past semester that were being sponsored. And it starts at first grade and goes through high school. It sounds a little bit odd to those of you that aren't familiar with where we live about scholarships for those age levels, but public education is not free in Mexico. It's just so mind-boggling to us from the States and most other developed countries that it's not free. And so students are required, what the government does provide is a building and a teacher, and at the elementary level, books, but that's it. So families have to pay for the books at the older level, the uniforms are required even in public school, and you have to have 2 uniforms, one for PE and one for school. all paper, pencil, toilet paper, custodial services, anything other than the teacher in the classroom, it's building itself. And so many families, if they get to have a kid go to school, they choose one. And so this has been something that's dear to our hearts, and is one of our biggest projects. And as I said, we have to thank all of you. You have been incredible support, both the club and individuals within this club that sponsor students. As I said, it goes through to high school. Not all kids qualify for high school. It's something, again, Mexico, there's not nearly enough spots for everybody that wants to go to high school that can. And again, this is public school. So even the building and teacher only provided definitely through middle school. And even when you get to high school, the costs increase. You have to pay the teacher to grade your exams. And, and then pay the teacher again to give you the grades. I mean, it just goes on and on. So anyway, it's quite a program and a very important one. And thank you for doing that. Go ahead, Court. Okay, this is our biggest project. This here is our current president, Becca Pohl. And this is a project, it's a global grant. And again, your club has been so helpful, not only with some funding for it, but getting your district to kick in and help on that, and advice. Your experience in this club has been so helpful to us on a number of things. I don't know how many times I've called one of you or written you or called Joanne and said, what do you guys do about this? Because you do have that experience, and that's something we don't have. And you've got to remember, we're an English-speaking club and a Spanish-speaking country. And so the connections are not there with our district. All training is done in Spanish, all communications are in Spanish. And while I can speak some Spanish, when you're getting technical advice or even just training, listening 6 hours of Spanish on Zoom is it's quite a bit. And so I don't do it. Bottom line. I did actually my pets training with the Far West Pets group on Zoom. Even that was a lot in English for 3 days on Zoom. But at least I was able to make some connections and got some training there. So back to Ojo de Agua. Ojo de Agua is our global grant. It took us 2 years to get it through the process. Ojo de Agua is a community about 20 minutes outside of Chapala. And it's actually not in we have things called municipalities, which are the equivalent of a county. And it's outside of our municipality, but they are separated from their municipality's office by an impassable road over a mountain. So they're pretty much left out in the dust. It's called Ojo de Agua because it has the cleanest water in the area, Eye of the Water. However, and it's from a mountain stream and aquifer. However, in the dry season, which is right now, they have no water. I mean, none. And so they have to rely on when the government remembers to send out a truck with water. And then 4 years ago, my husband was president, and we built 2 25,000 liter tanks that they now fill with water, and they use those, get buckets of water and bring them to their house. But we knew that wasn't what we really wanted to do, and that's why we went for the global grant. And so what we are doing, we did partner with the government, and this was very unusual for Rotary that's one reason it took so long for us to be actually paying the government to do the work. They dug a well, and that took quite a while, 4 tries, partly because they used a divining rod to find out where the water was. And they finally did, and they were right, it was there. And the good part was it took, because of the pandemic, it took about almost a year to get that water tested to find out if it was pure enough to meet governmental standards. It was. So we just found that out, oh gosh, I think January or February. So, so from there, we decided it was hard again with Rotary wondering whether we should be paying government. So the compromise was the municipality had to do the upfront work. They had to dig the well, they had to build the chlorination system, the pump, put the pump in, and that was all on their dime or peso, so to speak. And then was our part. So our part really just started, the construction just started at the very end of March. And you can see this is the well underneath here. It goes down 250 feet. And that's the water coming out. We also had to determine there was enough water and enough pressure to get the water through the village, and there is. This here is digging up the streets. We are paying them to do this and putting this piping in throughout the village. Another thing that you all helped out with have been water filters there in the village. And so this is the training that the people here lined up, got training on how to use water filters. We just did that in December, because even though this water is going to be going out the street, it's still going to be stored in what they call aljibes, which are tanks essentially, or tinacos, which are tanks on the roof. And that's going to, it gets polluted and stuff like that. So they're still going to need to filter their water in their homes, as we all do. I have to also. So anyway, we did a little education on that, little COVID education at the same time. Let's go ahead. Okay, this is the chief engineer here for the project. This is another Rotary member named Susie. Some of you have met her. This is my husband of 25 years. And this is, you can see the nice thing, it says potable agua. So we're on our way in this project, and hopefully we thought we were going to finish this month. It's not quite there yet. So I think it'll be through the summer that we'll get this project done. And here is the water filter and education. And here's what I was talking about. These are the water filters. These are made in Mexico. It's a ceramic type contraption in here that actually filters the water. More. This is the local doctor here that's explaining to people about giving the health education that goes with it. Yeah. Okay, during this food relief program that I was telling you about, we knew it wasn't sustainable, so it has ended. But during that process, we discovered a group of about 40 elderly women that when we got to that, we'd heard about them. We went out there and we found out the facility that they were at was a very nice facility, staffed by nuns, but they literally for the last 2 weeks had only had lentil beans. There's no food budget. And so we've kind of picked up on them. And we have a dentist in our community, in our club. So he has started providing dental care to these elderly women. They're really out of it. As you see, they've been abandoned by their families. There's again, no government support for them. And so what we do is they do get donations of food from like the berry growers nearby or something, but we never know, or they never know when it's coming or what they're getting. So every 2 weeks we call and say, okay, what do you need? And it does vary. And sometimes they don't need anything, but lots of other times they do. And so this is here, they needed eggs and onions and potatoes and stuff. So we brought those out, and we do that, as I said, periodically, but about every 2 weeks. Go ahead. There's some more. There's women, and then those are people shopping. And we found grocers there that are really good at just, if they've got produce it's about to go or whatever, they'll just give it to us or for just a few pesos. Go ahead. Okay, this is a new project for us this year. We are on the largest lake in Mexico. It's 52 miles long, so it's quite long. It's not very far across. I think it's only like 2 miles across at something at the widest, and it's not very deep. But it is used as a reservoir. And it also has a couple of very small islands in the middle. That's important because those islands are sacred sites to these native Mexican folks here called the Huichol. And these people actually don't live near us. They live up in the mountains, but historically there's a sacred site. So we do see them coming down and going out and have various blessings throughout the year and things like that on these islands. We started to make some connections with them. You can't go to their community unless you're invited, and we were. And so our 4 of our members went up, and one was a dentist. Well, actually 2 were dentists. Becca, our president, who is also very involved in teaching sewing and about maternal health to women. They went up this January, and we're going back again in a couple of weeks. And they stayed basically on the ground up there, providing lots of different services that the Huichol had asked for. They wanted tables and chairs for the school, so we brought some foldable things up there. They wanted books, and then these other items that food, lots of food, of course, and the fabric. And we brought up 3 sewing machines that had been donated. And here's Becca teaching them how to use those sewing machines. They love brightly colored fabric, so now we know to always bring that. Go ahead. This is after Becca taught them, along with this other volunteer here who went along with them, taught the women about essentially their bodies, menstruation, how to take care of themselves, pregnancy, how you get pregnant, all these kinds of things, because a lot of that was a lot of wives' tales is what they believed. And these bags here are things that Becca has trained local villagers where we live and how to sew reusable menstrual pads. And then she teaches, she taught these women about them and how to use them, et cetera. So that's what's in those bags. Okay, I mentioned Chapala earlier, and I mentioned that they now have a potable water system where they're selling that water to the villagers for about $1/4 of what Pepsi sells it for. Here's Mooney King. She is the founder and has transferred from the Ahihi Club to our club. And one of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit is about membership, because several things are happening for us. As I said, there's slightly different philosophies in the 2 clubs. What we're doing is we're getting some new members from the Ahihi Club over to our club who want to be more boots on the ground kind of folks. The Ahihi Club's doing great things. I don't want to take away from it, but there's just a slightly different focus. They're more interested in things like scholarships and stuff like that, especially at higher ed. And we don't do anything with higher ed. So we do have slightly different things we work on. But the other cool thing is Mooney, as you can tell, is older. Actually, she's like 80, 86. And so she recognizes that she's not going to be around forever. And so she's been bringing a Mexican woman from that village in this barrio along. And that woman is our newest member now. So we're real excited. When he said, you've got to come, you've got to be part of Rotary if you want to do this. And yeah, her name is Sandra Zamora. And so it's become a new way for us to get some different folks from different parts of our community into our club. Go ahead. Their latest project is to build communal toilets. There is open defecation, even though it's in downtown Chapala, which is the municipality. It's the county seat, essentially. But there's this hill in the middle of town, and it's a pretty nasty barrio, lots of drugs, lots of difficult situations up there. And while there are sewers, they've never been hooked up inside the homes there. And so the good part is by putting in toilets, we have a system to hook them into. Ojo de Agua, where I was just talking about with the water, they also need sanitation, but that would be starting literally from the ground. They have no sewage system or anything. It's just running down the streets. So here, this is Mooney here. And what we're doing is they took a section of the community building that they had, and they're putting in as a pilot 2 toilets. I know, I was just going to say that. Thank you. But anyway, yes. And so, so you can see that is on its way. If it works, we want to see if people use it, if people maintain it, you know, what really happens with all of this. And so I think it was smart for her to do a pilot project. Go ahead. They sell them. I mean, that is a reality on a number of things that we've done. Things get stolen just for the value of perhaps the metal in it. You know, we did a project with a South San Francisco Rotary Club out in Ojo de Agua, and we got a metal plaque and stuff, and you guys helped with the painting and all of that. So when you came out, well, after we put that plaque up, after you left, and it was gone for the value of the metal, not very much later. So, you know, it is a problem. This was our emergency food relief program I was telling you about earlier. Some of the people we were helping, we packed these huge bags full of enough for 2 weeks, a family of 5, to have rice, beans, sugar, oil, cereal, some fresh fruit, whatever we could get, onions, chicken broth. We also gave them in a separate bag soap and things like that. So that's what we put together as a group and trucked it out or to the villages around the lake. Go ahead. Yeah, and there we are after one of our packing evening. It took 2 days to get the food from the Abastos, which is the wholesale place in Guadalajara, bring it out. We had these big 20-kilo bags, unpack those, pack them into smaller bags, then pack them up and deliver them out. So it was quite a back-breaking literal process. But it was a good one. It made us feel like we were doing something, which is, as you all know, the frustration of being stuck at home and knowing that things need to be done and you can't help is a very difficult. So anyway, thank you again. Go ahead. Okay. All right, let me see. Okay, quickly, go ahead. That was on, I already talked about that. This is our mask project. Again, teaching those women that are sewing the menstrual pads. We've now teaching them how to do masks. We gave them out to the police. There it is, giving them to the police for free because they didn't have them. This is with a Rotaract, just beautifying the board. It's called a malecone, but it's equivalent to a boardwalk. Okay, the pad project again, we talked about that already. We also, as you again have helped with Have Hammers, it's still a going concern. And so we gave them some support this year because they still had to pay their rent, even though officially they had to be closed. So we just gave them some monetary support this year. They teach young people how to make furniture, and they're starting to teach CAD skills because that's the future. They'll get better jobs if they know how to do computer assisted drafting. And then we have one little international project ourselves. It's in Rwanda, and we help a beauty school there teach people how to do hair and things like that. There are folks whose families were affected by the genocide, and most of them lost all the men in their family. So we do that. I got to go there and see it. It was cool. And just now, this was our newest project, the Chair of the Love. We partnered with a club in Florida that wanted to just contacted us out of the blue and said they wanted to bring us wheelchairs. We distributed some in February. We're distributing some more in a couple of weeks. And then we've done a lot with, again, with you guys. You're always there with Love in Action and other orphanages and municipal playgrounds. We also have a diabetes clinic that's on hold, but Mexico's the #1 diabetic problem in the world per person. And so we have one of our members is a doctor of the heads of municipal clinic. And so we've been doing instruction there on diabetes management. And while we're we do have fun. Okay. So I'm happy to take questions. But just about, I think we're 39 right now. I'm sorry, we have 39 members. This year we grew quite a bit, and the growth is in our Mexican local young Mexicans coming in. We've got 4 or 5 new members that are in their 20s and 30s that are from the Mexican community. So that's bringing new energy, new perspective, new contacts, all of those things. Very exciting. No, we don't. We don't. There's not a Rotaract club local to us. There's an Interact club that I disconnected with. Yes.
And Chapala certainly meets that criteria. Quickly. Oh, question. Okay, I'll get to that. Anyway, this club and the other club, but between the two clubs, they really are totally committed to this. And as someone who was down there, many of us were down about 2 years ago, I think it was, is just a joy to see what they've done, especially in the area of safe with the children, for their education. And we contribute both as a club and also as individuals. So it's a minor pitch for if anyone wants to be a personal member and commitment to anywhere from thank you, perfect, anywhere from $75 to $200 a year. It means an incredible amount. We met with the kids at okay, this was incredibly moving. And I can take this as a question, right? I'll make this a question. In any case, it was, we met with them at a dinner, and we were, I think, 9 or 10 tables, 1 child to each table, and we rotated around, or they rotated around, and they told us what they were doing. And these kids, they have their act together. I mean, they were talking about what they wanted to do in life. They were totally committed. You can just tell that these kids are going to succeed. And the only reason that was happening is because of the SAFE program. If it wasn't for that and contributions like we give, it just wasn't going to happen. So thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, I think that was the most moving thing we did, was seeing those kids and having them talk to us. And we signed up, I don't know, half a dozen people that day.
I saw that you had 75 kids on the waiting list in your slides. Why do we have 75 kids on the waiting list? How do we take care of that?
Well, I'm talking to folks like you and other folks as well. Yeah, we do have, there's always going to be kids on our waiting list, unfortunately, just because of the situation. But we do also, we're real strict. We meet with them 3 times a year, get their grades, make sure they're at least at the average. If they're not, they're dropped. So we do hold them accountable. We feel like they're accountable and keeping up with their studies. Our responsibility goes all the way through with them. And so we stick with kids all the way through their education. Yeah. Anything else? Well, again, I want to add a gift. I want you to visit. We had such a good time when your club came, and do make those connections like that Richard just talked about. Meeting the actual kids that you're funding, going to see these things. We're willing to put you up. We're willing to have parties, and we love parties. We do tend to get more people visit us in February. But you are always just such a terrific club, and that's one reason I would come to the Bay Area now because I have my grandson here. I told Joanne I was definitely going to be coming up, so it's good to see you all. And thank you for having me. The total, well, I guess it depends on what you call by community. Our town is 60,000 population total. Yeah, 60. But again, we go to the Huichol, we go over the border and help Otaagua. So it's yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Barbara. And do we have a, okay, so yes, Barbara, so we always have our presenter sign the book and we donate it on their behalf to the library. So thank you. And thank you very much for being here and going through that. Really appreciate that. And a place to stay and a party. That sounds. Yes. So you fly through Guadalajara. Yeah. Okay, so you fly into Guadalajara, and then how far is the drive? Half hour south of Guadalajara. Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. So how about that? Shuttle service, a place to stay, and a party. Can't ask for more. All right. Well, thank you again very much, Barbara, for being here and going through all that with us. Appreciate that very much. Anything else before we wrap up here? No. I have to say that we had a great meeting, a discussion today with Chris and Dre, and I'm very excited about some of the stuff that we talked about, and you'll be hearing more from us on that as well. Okay. And with that, I will say, have a good week. Thank you, Claire, Nat, and Stan for joining us.